Hi, sir. It's a pleasure sitting in front of you. So, I have an experience of 5 years of work in Tata Steel, and looking at your experience, we school students would love going for a startup in future as well. So, sir, I would just start off this conversation with a basic general question: that what was the inspiration behind Neeman's? How did this idea turn into reality? What motivated you?
Firstly, thank you for having me here. It's a privilege for me to be at this show. In fact, I've gone back 22, 23 years back when I was doing my MBA. I had aspired to study in XLRI, but unfortunately, I didn't take the CAT. And just an aspiration won't help. So, just like 150 crores population, 125 crores will have a business idea daily, but they don't execute. So, the idea is that anything and everything requires execution. So
Okay.
I just had a dream that I would want to do my MBA in XLRI, but never made an effort, constant effort to appear for a CAT examination and get an admission there. But this is on my radar for the last 18, 20 years. I've not visited this campus in the past, but I think it's amazing. I've come in a day early, enjoyed the vibe, the atmosphere, the culture here. I think it's a therapy for me. So I must appreciate in terms of the way it has been maintained from the last 75 years. And you get the feel of what you, when I graduated, you get that kind of a feel. Now, nowadays, colleges are more about excellent infrastructure,
Correct.
but they are not having the same kind of vibe what we at while we studied had.
Correct.
So they have maintained that heritage, XLRI, and I've spoken to quite a few professors and college students at the campus. I, in fact, sat at the canteen, sipped a cup of coffee. In fact, late in the evening, also went out, enjoyed what students were conversing.
Pretty
So
nostalgic, right?
pretty nostalgic, pretty therapy in terms of how they make fun of each other and all. It's, you miss these days. It's very easy to go on a fancy vacation once in a while, but I think this is something which is therapy for an entrepreneur. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure.
So coming back to Neeman's, so I'll give you my background. I'm done my masters, and soon after doing my masters, I started my own edtech company in terms of helping institutions to recruit students from foreign institutions. So I was doing that good for 10, 12 years, and it was an education consulting business. So it had its own limitations where I couldn't become a global brand or couldn't have that vibe or of the opportunity to make it global. So I was in pursuit of building something very, very large, which could be known for generations together. So in that pursuit, I used to travel to a lot of trade exhibitions, a lot of places where new opportunities of business are there. Maybe meet a lot of entrepreneurs, but unfortunately, I couldn't find anything which is as passionate at as passionate as what I wanted. Then out of nowhere, it came out of my own love. So during a travel, we realized that my co-founder has several pairs of shoes while traveling to Europe, and has a bag full of shoes for different activities. Like when I say different activities, one for run, one for party,
Sportswear, party wear.
party
Yeah.
wear. So it's like he was carrying so many pairs of shoes, and both of us are shoe lovers. So we said that why do we need so many pairs of shoes? And why is it that we are looking to buy so many pairs? Why can't we have one pair which takes us right from the start of the day to the end of the day? We can just be very comfortable with that. And that is where the idea spun about. And we started researching about it. And soon realized that all the companies, the global companies or the legacy brands, focus on only creating mass production,
Yeah.
and focus on doing something which is fast fashion. So we said that we are today's entrepreneurs. We are avid lovers of shoes. We are consumers of shoes. Why do we harm the environment to create something like this? So we started our brand and we said that we'll go for eco fashion, not fast fashion. And that is how Neeman's was born. And we gave this a life. Anything which is dead, which is not available within the environment, we will give life to that. And we use something which is there in the environment. So I think that spun about the idea, and there's no looking back since then.
Yeah, in fact, Neiman's, when it started, even I bought a pair of shoes which was very classy. The comfort level of the shoes and the design is also pretty good. It's not that it's actually a differentiator that acts as a differentiator for you. and sustainable. Obviously, this was the core value of Neeman's, and this also acted as a differentiator for you. But there's also a challenge when you talk about sustainability. There's also costs that get added during your production. So, how did you manage that? What I think this was one of the biggest challenge for you, because others procuring raw materials at a cheaper price, but you getting recycled products which are obviously expensive. How do you manage this?
So we break down into three stages. One, we said that we have to get the product market fit. When I say product market fit, there is a customer out here who is looking for sustainable fashion, who is looking to buy. So for the first for us would be to get a prototype right and to get the product to the consumer and the best product. So first the focus was completely on product. And we said sustainability is the hook. It is something which will give the consumer a delight, saying that we are not using fast fashion, we are using eco fashion.
Yes.
But definitely, what is the value proposition we are giving with that? So the value proposition was comfort and style. So it's a blend of sustainability, style, and comfort. So all the three together, we said how can we build the product? So we chose the most premium material, that is merino wool, which comes from merino sheep's hair. And it has core properties of being antibacterial, odor resistant, it can be worn without socks, it's very, very lightweight. Unlike the traditional wool. Now, the traditional wool is associated with sweaters.
Yes.
So you don't wear directly to the skin. So there were a lot of questions that how can you wear wool in summers? So we said that we can still wear it in summers because the material has that particular fabric. So we said it's not about thinking about how will we survive in legacy brands. It's about how do you get your first 1,000 customers or first 100 customers. So all we need to do is build a product, convince the manufacturer that this is the value proposition of the product, and I want you to maintain this value proposition. And at scale, we will solve this problem of pricing. At that particular moment, it was expensive, fairly expensive material. I remember we launched the product at 6,500 rupees. And at 6,500 rupees, you have legacy brands available at their disposal. So you can buy a Skechers, Adidas, Nike, Puma at 6,500. Why will somebody buy Neeman? So we said that we will sell the core functionality. We will sell the value proposition of being sustainable. And we will build it up at scale. So right now our margins are fairly thin, but we will invest in content. So we will invest in terms of letting the audience know, the consumer know that how the product is good in terms of not just being sustainable, but also being value conscious of the properties. Because in the end, what people say is that I might buy one pair, but why do I buy it regularly? What is the value proposition? So that was our ultimate focus. And the one question which you asked in terms of how is it that in this value-centric market, sustainability can be the hook for now. See, in the initial stages, the MOQs will be less, the pricing will be less, the gross margins will be less. The consumers will be made aware, there'll be a lot of personalization. So we made that as a point that we are close to our consumer and we well inform the consumer that how the product is trending, maybe at scale, the prices will go down, and that's what we did.
Exactly. So this is actually a very good way of showing off your value proposition to the consumers as well. So I wanted to also understand that how did you reach out to the consumers? As in, how did you mass popularize your product? Because earlier, say 5 years back, people were not. Sustainability was never a buzzword 5 or 6 years back, but you started off at that point of time. So how did you go around spreading this culture of sustainability in shoes especially?
So back then when we started in 2017, 2018 during our research phase or the R&D phase, everybody told us, everybody warned us from with my close friends, relatives, saying that who will buy sustainability?
Exactly, that was my point.
There's nobody who knows about it. It was picking up then in US and Europe, and India is not something which is ready. So since we had roots in US, why can't you start in US? That's what was the question. My co-founder had been settled in US for good 10, 12 years. So we said that we are so passionate about doing it in India. Why? Because it's anything which is there in West gets adapted in India, and sooner or later, India there will be a buzz around it. But you need to be patient. So we came to India. My co-founder left his job for 10, 12 years, settled life in US. He said, we will do it in India. So while we were doing that research, everybody said, how will you spread sustainability with opening a store?
Yes.
So, and I said, I will not open store, I will do it online. He said, who buys shoes online? जूते तो दुकान में खरीदते हैं. जूते आप ऑनलाइन क्यों खरीदोगे? How do you know your size? How do you differentiate? So we said, if we do it in a store, like we are based out of Hyderabad, we will open 1 store, 2 store, 3 store, 4 stores with our limited capex being bootstrapped.
Yes.
That means only a few cities or that particular vicinity people will know that we are trying to do something sustainable. So we said that we will do it online. Entire India will be at our disposal.
Yes.
And we will spread about information about us through content. The power of social media was picking up. People were going online. People were writing their thoughts online.
Exactly.
Facebook was evolved. Instagram was picking up. Fashion was picking up. We said, we will do it offline. We will do it online. We will not do it offline. I still remember the first year when we started. My friends used to ask me, "Dukaan kahan par hai aapki? Who are you distributing your products? What is the source of distribution?" I said, no. And back then, everybody used to think, if you remember 2017, 18, people used to buy on WhatsApp. Resellers thing on Facebook.
On Facebook.
They used to send a catalog of 30, 40, 50, 500 videos.
Correct.
Check kar lo. Ladies used to do that. So all my friends used to think he is just a reseller. And my co-founder is come from US and selling it on WhatsApp or something like that. So it was like a buzzword, दोनों भाई पागल हैं क्योंकि इतना settled काम छोड़ के ये लोग resell करके जूते बेच रहे हैं. And they are not it's not a brand as well. They're selling it for $6,000.
Yeah.
So we stuck to our core, saying that our value proposition is sustainability, and we need to be patient. And we were talking more and more, creating the buzzword, educating our consumers, talking about our product value propositions. So in the first year, we had only in the first 2 years we had only 3 SKUs: a sneaker, or a jogger, and a loafer.
Okay.
That is there from generations together. So that we will not give customers thousands of SKUs or hundreds of SKUs. Why? Because there is so much of confusion. You walk into any legacy brand footwear store, you get to see so many products.
You don't know. You
don't
cannot decide.
You cannot decide,
Yeah.
and you don't know the core value proposition,
Exactly.
functionality. You say running, walking, athleisure, or you say for physical workouts, and you see this for party wear, and you say that, okay, whichever is the most expensive one, if your budget suits, you buy it.
Okay.
Or you talk to a sales executive who's been trained to sell as many pairs as possible, and he gets incentivized for selling the highest MRP product.
Correct.
So you are at his mercy, and you just buy because it's a branded shoe, and sold at 10 grand or 8 grand or 5 grand. And that's where we were also doing it. So, and if you go online, you will see hundreds of pictures.
Yes.
And you'll see, how will I buy it? So we said, make it simple, just 3 SKUs, just talk about the functionality. We did that. And the very first year, we got tremendous response. And maybe I remember still in the first 18 months, we hit 1 crore revenue per month with just 3 SKUs. That means
It's amazing.
India is
It's
ready for
amazing.
if you are believing in yourself, educating your consumers, you don't need any product. You don't need any thing which talks as big as a brand. You just need to tell about your value proposition. And we also ensure that people get the right size. We said we'll have hassle-free returns. That means if Deep is ordering from us, you'll get a 7-day free trial. Wear my shoes, feel the comfort. You like it, take it, or give it back. No questions asked, full refund. The risk is on me. So we created that brand trust and brand love, brand loyalty we created. So that itself gave us the hook that Neeman is here to stay. And in that first 18-20 months, no investor supported us. They said, you guys are crazy, you're not probably going to do well here. He said, we will make a mark and we will create a larger outcome. We need to be patient. So we bootstrapped and we built that initial traction.
Actually, so basically you worked on the fundamentals superbly. Value proposition, marketing well, and then cutting down and prioritizing your SKUs.
Yes.
I think that clicked and that worked
Yes.
exceptionally well. And so next thing is now that there are a lot of competitors that are also there. Uh, International brands are there, local players are there, and obviously sustainability has now become the buzzword and it has now become the new normal. What are your future plans and how do you plan on creating a new? Are you planning to create a new value proposition, or are you planning to stay on this and focusing more on designs now?
See, what we have done over the past several years, we have realized we have grown as a brand,
Yes.
and we have had a sheerly fair reasons of learnings and sheer failures as well. So we have realized that we want to become a legacy brand, and when we want to become a legacy brand, you should be affordable.
Yes.
When I say affordable, you should be there for the common man. You're not targeting the top 5% or top 10% of the country.
Definitely.
You're definitely targeting the masses. So when you're targeting the masses, the biggest thing which will act in your favor is price.
Exactly.
So we got the pricing right. We said that we will not be at 6 grand or 5 grand. We would be there between 1500 to 2500. So there is a big delta we see between Campus, Bata, with a price around 1500. Similarly, between Hush Puppies and Skechers. So what happens is our core proposition will always be comfort. And if you want to give the comfort at a lower price point, so there is a big delta between 1500 to 3000 rupees. We say that we will fill up that gap. And we would want to be a very, very large brand in the next 10 years. So for that, you need to be priced right. Now that we have got scale, now that we have got recognition, now is the time where we work out on our manufacturing, work out on our sustainable products, work out on our line, what we're creating, make it affordable for the common man and say that, yes, I will wear Neemans on a day-to-day basis. And the consumption post-COVID has changed. Like the pre-COVID era was like people, when we started, the annual consumption or the
a little conservative
part. And that time I think there was around, the annual consumption was around 1.2, 1.3. Now it's close to 2.4.
Oh, that's really
So that is there. Now, when we started in US, it was 3, and now it's 6.2. So the consumption patterns of consumers are changing day by day. And post the COVID era, the fashion has grown tremendously. And there is a lot of belief that they want to support new age brands. Now people don't want to go just to the new age brands owned by Reliance, Aditya Birla, or Tata's of the world. They say that we also want to try out newer brands. So you see, you see a new ecosystem coming up like D2C, direct to consumers. So what we do is when we create a loyal community base, ultimately you get to talk to your consumers on a day in and day out basis because that's your strength. So that is something I think has helped us. So we have got the pricing right, the functionality will always be something which we will focus upon, and third is we will always be focusing upon new styling which customers want as per the consumer demands. So that means though we have cracked the right brand proposition, you also need to crack the right SKU or style which consumers are looking for in the right price point. So that is something which we will continue to focus and will build on our catalog.
Absolutely, sir. So that's very important.
Yeah.
And the concept of omni-channel has now emerged, where you have a store as well as you sell online. Lenskart, all the other Nike, every other brand is doing that. So do you plan on opening stores as well in terms of scaling your brand?
So while we started, we were only on our website.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to get a consumer the trust on your website because people say that I have never heard about Neeman, I've never heard about it. It's just an Instagram brand or just a Facebook brand. So the first thing was the most difficult part, which we have taken, is creating a loyal community base. So that's been created, and that's continued to that is work in progress always. Then we said for ease of use. When I say ease of use, what does a consumer do like Deep? Okay, I've seen the ad on Neeman's. I am in so-and-so city. I will go to Amazon and Myntra because it has a bit more trust. Though I have seen Neeman, but Amazon, the guy keeps coming to deliver my print code. Is there it on Amazon or not? So you search on Amazon, Neeman's is available. You search on Myntra, Neeman's is available. You search on
Flipkart,
Neeman
it's
is available.
available. Yeah.
So what happens is now the ease of use is done. So when I say omni-channel, just not on our website, on our
Across all the
across our
other,
marketplaces, it's there.
E-commerce
The
websites.
third option would be to see at the stores near me. So at least in the major tier 1, tier 2 cities, is Neeman's there. So we have slowly started that race. We've opened 15 stores already.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
and opening 10 more in the next 3 months. And maybe in the next 2 years you will see 100 stores of Neeman's. So we said that if you really want to create a cult of your brand, you want to
Yes.
be known as an aspirational brand, and you want to be among the big boys. So definitely footwear is bought offline. So footwear,
Definitely.
the data so shows 80 to 75 to 80% still buy offline.
Yes.
So we will have to be offline. So we are creating as many touch points as possible, expanding offline. And in that pursuit, also getting into the race of, which I believe in the next 1 year you will see everybody following that, is quick commerce. So we are already on Zepto in for certain cities. So you can get your shoes delivered in 10 minutes.
Oh,
We're already there in Mumbai, we're there in Gurgaon. So what happens is, in the next 1 to 2 years, you'll see everywhere. So I see the evolution of quick commerce dominating e-commerce. So because the patience level
People
is
are not patient now.
enough.
They want it
So-
immediately. Yeah.
Being omni-channel means being available across as much as possible. But the core value proposition of the brand will remain as it is. Similarly, every brand goes through its ups and downs. So we will also have our challenges in building that piece. But we are there and we are trying to make that inroad as much as possible and trying to help our consumers buy the product as soon as possible.
Definitely. So that's very important. Your presence across every channel is what is very important, because unless until you try a shoe, that adds a separate experience to it. So opening stores would definitely be an added advantage, according to me, because that's what we've learned also in our MBA courses as well.
Yeah.
So finally, I think this will be my last question. What guidance or what inspiration can you give us as how do you plan on becoming an entrepreneur?
You want me to be brutally honest?
Yes, brutally honest, definitely.
See, I have spoken to many B school grads over the years, and
Because it's very risky.
it's not a matter of
leaving-
risk.
yeah.
What happens is the B school grads or the young growing entrepreneurs, the biggest problem is that they give up so fast.
Yeah.
You shouldn't give up. Second, build your prototype, have confidence on that. Have a leap of faith. So, if whatever it may be, it is a consumer-driven brand, or it's a AI-based tool, or it's a SaaS-based product, or it could be anything where you feel it is valued to you and it's close to your heart. Do a proper GTM.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of fresh graduates. I don't blame it to B school or anybody. They are very good at doing presentations. They are brutally honest, but again,
You should
you
have
have
the
to do
depth.
execution.
Yeah.
See, I'll give you an example. As I told in the opening statement, everybody wants to be entrepreneur,
Correct.
but nobody wants to take that road.
Yes.
The reason is because they say that there are so many struggles, so many insecurities.
Definitely.
But I would recommend it's a very passionate drive. I will cut my entrepreneurship journey of 20 years into 2 journeys. The one journey which I had built more of a traditional kind of a business, fairly successful. I'm a first-time entrepreneur again.
Okay.
And I come from a background where my father was a banker, transferable job for a government bank. Been traveling across different cities, stayed in different cities. Very, very middle class upbringing. The DNA is कि अगर पैसा कमाना है तो
तो
कोई
फिर
गलत
job ही
काम
करना पड़ेगा,
job ही करना
और
पड़ेगा या
कुछ
कोई
नहीं
गलत
option
काम
है।
करना पड़ेगा. And the DNA is like कि if you're an entrepreneur, when I grew up, that means आपका कोई गलत काम कर रहे हो. And black money होगा and all the stuff. And that was rooted in
mindset ही है.
mindset.
Yeah.
The middle class mindset is like you have to commit fraud. But I would say the second phase of my journey where I really started Neeman, it was like the world has opened up. Don't hesitate to talk to anybody. Everybody's at your disposal. Now you can meet anybody and ask questions. You should just have that zeal to say that yes, I have this problem. Will you help me able to solve it? Help to solve me. So let's say we are reached at a certain scale. we also have challenges. So we go out to people who are from that industry. We don't go and say, it's like you are investing, you are in stock market, and people say stock market is a gamble. I say no, it's not a gamble. It's a calculated understanding of companies. Correct. And investing. Yes, intraday and all those things. But you go back and ask your father or chacha or mama who's not into stock market, they say that casino khelne chalo lo. So when you talk to people who are within the same industry, they will be able to guide you better. So even with the ecosystem, it's not necessary for you to ask everybody. It's for the people from that industry. Like, let's say from footwear, if I go and ask for footwear, it'll be more it'll be more prominent. Similarly, if I want to build a brand in digital, I have to go and talk to people who have built a brand there and take their opinion, rather than talking to people who have built great retail brands. I have no understanding of D2C or digital. They will not be able to guide me. And the guidance which I would seek will not be available. So focus on solving the problem.
Yes.
A lot of people live it midway. ये मेरा काम नहीं है, मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा, छोड़ दो. Don't leave that. You have to solve the problem. Now, let's say when you graduate, you join a company, you have to understand what project you are at and you solve that particular problem. And I would say, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, work for a startup. It's like you're playing with fire every day.
Culture gets ingrained in you, and
gets
then
ingrained, and you have to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, you know
there
what
is.
you're supposed to do.
It's altogether whether you do well or don't do well.
Yeah.
See, in US, even a failed entrepreneur is celebrated. Why? Because you have learned something. Your next journey will not be the same. So I keep telling to my family, let's say if I fail, I'm not able to create a great outcome, but my next company would be far, far bigger than what I've created. Why? Because I have all the learnings. So entrepreneurs like you, people, students like you, will love to talk. Why? Ask me any question which you feel will help in your journey. I was also very, very hesitant in asking questions in my early days to fellow entrepreneurs. क्या सोचेगा वो मेरे बारे में? Be a जुगाड़ू यार. ठीक है. DNA में, see, you go to a Marwadi businessman, you go to a Guju businessman. He will even a 20-year-old will be like an MBA to you. It's like he will say yaar, so deeper things in terms of dhanda. End में धंधा चलेगा तो brand चलेगा. A lot of brands have been wiped off in a decade. So do what you feel will sustain for next 10, 20, 30 years. So my friend was asking me, how would you scale your brand in terms of catalog?
Yeah.
I would say that I will pick what is available, what is going to be there even after 1-2 years. So colors, playing with colors, that is always, anytime we can do it. But black, blues and grays,
they're very common.
Always.
Yeah,
and whites.
Yeah, they'll be always there.
Always
Those
be
are
there.
legacies.
Always be there. Because you say that कि यार ये जूता मेरा कोई भी outfit के साथ जाना चाहिए. I create that first. Because I might like to wear something which is very gaudy. It's my personality. But not everyone is like that. What you do for New India or the major audience. So invest in data. So somebody, I don't know what your background is in terms of strategy or brand marketing or design. Anything and everything requires a fair understanding of data. So look at data and then take decisions. Yeah. So it's customer insights. End is only customer, not what you feel. Don't take gut-based decisions. Take data-based decisions. So everything is data, and that's how it's going to be. The way AI is getting transformed, everything will change, and your decisions will be based on data only. So if you have not acquired that skill, acquire that particular skill.
Exactly. So data is definitely very important, and I think that's what is helping you people also to come up with new designs and helping everyone, in fact. So yeah, so this was a wonderful conversation with you. Thank you so much, sir.